Hello friends, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we're gonna compare two mid-range Moto phones, the Moto M with the Moto G4 Plus. So the Moto M is the latest phone in this segment, which is priced 16,000 and 18,000 for the two variants, while the Moto G4 Plus is priced 14,999 for the 3GB RAM variant. So in this video we'll talk about almost all aspects about these two phones and which is the better device to buy in this category. So let's start off the comparison with the design and build quality. So design wise, there is a clear winner here. We can say that the Moto M is a far better looking device out there in terms of the design and also the build quality, because the Moto G4 Plus is not really the best device to buy in terms of the design and build. It's a plastic finishing and doesn't look good either, and you can also see that the design aspect of the device has been criticized widely along with the fingerprint scanner. So that's one reason we would say the Moto M is far better looking device out there when you compare with the Moto G4 Plus. So design and build quality, the Moto M is a clear winner with a unibody metallic construction, and it feels premium as well. Now let's talk about the display. Now here we have a 5.5 inch screen size on both the phones, and it's a full HD display. That's a 1080p resolution display. The display quality on both the phones are really good, and they perform pretty well, and the viewing angles and the color quality and overall touch response also feels really good. So display quality is equally good on both the phones, and we would say it's a tie here in terms of the display performance. Now let's talk about the software. So software, both the phones run the stock Android, that's Android 6.0, and both are slated to get the Android 7.0. So there's no major difference in terms of the features being offered, but additionally you can say that there is a Moto app on the Moto G4 Plus which provides Moto display and also some gesture support which is missing on the Moto M, which is powered by a MediaTek chipset. So software wise both are equally good, no major difference, only except for the fact that there are a few additional Microsoft apps included in the Moto M which are missing on the Moto G4 Plus, and there is some gesture supported on the Moto G4 Plus. So that's all with the software, and now let's talk about the soft performance aspect of these two phones. So the Moto M comes with a MediaTek P15 octa-core chipset coupled with either 3GB RAM or 4GB RAM, and coupled with 32GB of 64GB storage variant. And the Moto G4 Plus comes with a Snapdragon 617 octa-core chipset which is coupled with 3GB of RAM and 32GB of storage. Now additionally, the Moto G4 Plus has a dedicated microSD card expansion slot, while it's a hybrid SIM card on the Moto M. Now talking about the performance, in day-to-day aspect we would say both these devices are pretty good in terms of the performance being offered, and they do the task pretty well, no major lags or issues, and does the job pretty well. And when it comes to gaming, that's where both these devices are having issues. The Moto M does not have any heating issue, that's one really good aspect, but then the gaming performance was pretty average, and we could see some lag here and there, and not the best gaming experience for a phone priced almost 17 to 18k price segment. But Moto G4 Plus has a pretty decent gaming experience, but the major issue is after prolonged gaming or for almost 20 to 30 minutes of gaming, the heating is pretty considerably high, and it goes up to almost 50 degrees on the Moto G4 Plus. So neither of these devices are really good for gaming devices. So if you're looking for gaming, then we wouldn't recommend either of these devices. We would suggest you to look for other options. But other than that, the performance aspect is pretty good on both the phones, and you never know the difference between these two devices in terms of the performing aspects. Now looking at the benchmark scores of these two phones, you can see that the Helio P15 octa-core chipset is slightly more powerful than the Snapdragon 617 octa-core chipset, and the benchmark scores are also slightly higher. But in terms of the day-to-day experience, both are equally good and does the job pretty well. But having said that, there is a heating issue on the Moto G4 Plus with prolonged camera usage and heavy multitasking. You can definitely see some heating on the Moto G4 Plus, but that's missing on the Moto M. So in terms of software and performance, we would say even with the MediaTek chipset, the Moto M performs slightly better than the Moto G4 Plus because of the heating issue on the Moto G4 Plus. Now let's have a look at the camera. So we have a 16 megapixel shooter on both these devices with f2.0 aperture, dual tone dual LED flash, face detection autofocus, and additionally the Moto G4 Plus comes with a laser assisted autofocus, while we have a 8 megapixel shooter on the Moto M on the front facing camera, and we have a 5 megapixel shooter on the Moto G4 Plus. Now the camera interface is quite different. Now we have the Moto app on the Moto G4 Plus which offers decent amount of options, but we have the Lenovo's app on the Moto M. So that's the difference here. Both are equally decent camera options with a decent amount of features being offered, including the Pro mode. Now let's have a look at the camera samples. So Moto G4 Plus is a well-known camera in this segment with really good camera abilities, and when we reviewed the Moto M camera, we found that it was quite good but not up to the levels of the Moto G4 Plus. So in terms of the camera experience, we would say the Moto M is slightly behind the Moto G4 Plus in terms of the overall camera abilities. The Moto M definitely is a good camera in almost all conditions except for extreme low light conditions where it has a bit of noise when compared to the Moto G4 Plus. But having said that, both are equally good cameras, but for the additional better clarity and better sharpness levels, we would give it to the Moto G4 Plus for the camera abilities. In the front facing selfie camera, we would say the Moto M has an edge because of the 8 megapixel shooter when compared to the 5 megapixel shooter on the Moto G4 Plus. So in terms of the camera experience, we would give it to the Moto G4 Plus only by a small margin when compared to the Moto M. Now next up, let's talk about the battery. Now both these phones have almost 3000 mAh battery, and we have a rapid charger on the Moto M with a turbocharger on the Moto G4 Plus. So both these devices are quite good in terms of the battery performance and last you through 1 day of usage easily. Now additionally, the Moto M comes with USB-C type port, while it's a normal USB 2.0 port on the Moto G4 Plus. So battery performance is equally good on both these devices, but charging the battery takes lesser time on the Moto G4 Plus because of the turbocharger. Now other aspects include the fingerprint scanner, and the fingerprint scanner is placed on the rear panel on the Moto M while it's on the front panel on the Moto G4 Plus. So it's a personal choice on whether you like on the rear panel or on the front panel. Both the fingerprint scanners are equally good and does the job pretty well. Now looking at the speaker performance, both are equally good in terms of the speaker performance, and we would say there is Dolby Atmos support on the Moto M. So if you're a person who loves listening to music, then we would suggest the Moto M because of the Dolby support. So now we are talking about almost all aspects about these two phones. So which is the better device to buy here? So the 32GB, 3GB RAM variant of the Moto M is priced 15,999, almost 1K priced higher than the Moto G4 Plus, and we would say it definitely makes a good buy because of the metallic build, really good build quality, design is also really good. The camera performance is almost near to the Moto G4 Plus. It's not better, but still almost near to Moto G4 Plus. There are some misses in the Moto M, which includes the Moto app, which is missing out, and both these devices will be getting Android 7.0 update. And the only difference being the hybrid SIM card which is available on the Moto M. So you can use only 2 SIM cards or a micro SD card. So if you want to use 2 SIM cards, you have to use the 32GB storage available. But on the Moto G4 Plus, you have this additionally micro SD card separate slot. And additionally, there is also 64GB storage variant which is priced 18,000. So that's a slightly higher price when you compare with the G4 Plus. But having said that, we would definitely say the Moto M is definitely a good buy at 16,000 when compared to the Moto G4 Plus, which has this heating issue. That's one major issue with this device, and also the design and build quality does not look that great. So all in all, we would say the Moto M is definitely a good buy over the Moto G4 Plus. So that's all guys with a detailed comparison of these two phones. Hope you like this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.